The strangest advice that actually worked for me after my first big failure: stop chasing the same win that already broke you. If you're between the ages of 18 to 25 and you just went through your first big failure, then watch this video till the end. So after I quit cricket, I kept going to the gym every single day. So just to keep myself fit, I was hitting the gym every single day. And I thought I was fine. So, one day there was this kid who I think was an athlete as well in some other sport, or I don't know, it was just some kid. I think he was 14 or 15 years old. And he asked me, weren't you the guy who used to play cricket? And I said yes. And then he asked me, so don't you play anymore? I said, no, I don't. I had to leave cricket. And that moment was very painful for me, because just giving that answer, it was very tough for me. It was very painful for me because, again, like I said, I had worked hard for 7 to 8 years straight, leaving my family to come in a different country and pursue my career in sports, and still getting no success. And then me leaving cricket, and that being my first big failure of my life. So when that kid asked me that question, that weren't you the guy who used to play cricket before? And when I said no, I had to leave, that was extremely painful for me. And that one question, that one moment, it literally made me replay that first failure on loop again and again. That's how painful it was for me. And that's when I realized that I was still living in that first failure. I hadn't got out of it. And it was very painful for me that moment. I had come to the gym to work out, and it had been some time since I had left cricket. I think it had been 3 months, and I was hitting the gym every single day just to keep myself fit. And that's when a kid pops up and asks me this question, and I give him this answer that no, I don't play cricket anymore. And like I said, extremely painful for me. So that's when I realized, that I haven't gotten out of my first failure at all. And I was replaying that first failure again and again in my head after that question. And I'm pretty sure all of you 18 to 25-year-olds who are going through their first big failure, I mean, your first big failure, I'm pretty sure you feel that pain as well when someone comes and asks you. It might be your relatives, it might be your friends who stay far away from you. They might have gone to do their college somewhere, and then you just went through your first big failure. The time that you gave in what you loved the most, and then you failed at it. You went through your first big failure, and when some of your friends ask you, I don't know, how's that thing going on, and then you say, unfortunately, I left that thing, or I failed at that thing, that couldn't work. I understand the pain, guys, because I have been through that as well. And I know that when someone asks you about the thing that you were doing and that you failed at, I mean, your first big failure, you keep replaying that loop. You keep replaying your first failure again and again in your head. And that is very painful, right? But now we come to the point: how do we get out of this? Like, how do we stop replaying our first big failure? How did I stop replaying my first big failure and come out 100 times stronger? And how can you do that? Don't worry, guys, I got you. Watch this video till the end, because in some minutes, I will give you one neuroscientific tip that you can do right now or right after this video ends. The tips that I give don't take much time at all. You can go and watch my previous videos as well, and my shorts as well. I give a neuroscience tip for free in every single video of mine. So the only way to get out of your first big failure, like how I got out of my first big failure, is by taking action in the right direction. So you have to make sure that you do actions fast in life. you know let's talk about this. Very simple. All of these great successful people who went through their failures, and let's talk about Michael Jordan. If you've heard his story, he was cut out of his high school basketball team. And Oprah Winfrey, who was rejected out of TV, saying that she wasn't fit to play TV roles, and who wasn't fit to play on TV. and then a lot of great people. And if you guys have the time, you can go and watch the movie The Pursuit of Happiness. You love that movie. And if you're going through your first big failure, that's why you're watching this video, you should surely watch that movie, The Pursuit of Happiness. So you will understand that all of them, they were able to move on fast after their first big failure by taking actions fast. So the only way to get out of your first big failure is by taking action. Action, action, action. That's how I was able to get out of my first big failure and keep moving forward in life with great happiness and great positivity. And I was able to see the way ahead. So, for you to see the way ahead out of your first big failure and to stop replaying that first big failure, even when people come and ask you the question that weren't you the guy who used to do this and that before, uh, for you to stop replaying that first big failure, you need to do the steps, you need to do the actions required, right? So, in some time, like I said, we'll talk about the neuroscientific tip. So, guys, your brain doesn't know time, it only knows repetition. The more you replay your first big failure, the deeper it wires in. So, now the neuroscientific tip that I want you to do is called the temporal window reset. It's a very easy tip to do and it won't take much of your time. So, now what I want you to do is look at any clock, okay? Look at any clock, take one slow breath, and imagine the only thing that exists is the next 60 seconds. As simple as that. And for your convenience, I will say it again. I will say the whole tip again. So now I want you to look at any clock, take one slow breath, and imagine the only thing that exists is the next 60 seconds. So let's talk about what does this tip do scientifically. What does neuroscience say about the temporal window reset? So when you do the temporal window reset, it helps your brain to see that the first failure isn't forever, and it pulls you out of the past and brings your focus back to the present, which is right now. So this is what this tip does scientifically. Again, this is just one easy tip that you can do right now, but the step-by-step explained rapid neuroscience brain resets is in the Phoenix Reset, the 24-hour ICE course, which is specially built for 18 to 25-year-olds, that guarantees that in just 24 hours, you'll stop overthinking your first big failure, rebuild unstoppable motivation, and take bold action toward your next goal, all using neuroscience backed methods. So, the course link is in my description. Flip your brain back to peak drive in just 24 hours. So, guys, don't relive your first big failure, reprogram it. And like I always say, your first big failure doesn't define you. Instead, your first big failure is the fuel to your next big success, guys. And guys, I'm your brother. I got you. Understand that I have been through the same pain, and that's why I can relate to you. And guys, I got you. Don't worry. And you can always share your first failure story in the comment box. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss. Let's relate and let's build trust, guys. Like I said, this is a safe space to share your story. And if you're going through your first big failure, and especially if you're between the ages of 18 to 25, do share your story in the comment box, guys. And join me inside the Phoenix Reset, the 24-hour ICE course. The course link is in my description, guys. So, guys, I will see you in the next video. Make sure you do the tip that I gave you in this video. Don't delay the action. Action is going to keep you moving in life, which is very important. So, guys, I will see you in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye. And yes, bye.